Toon Jam. Toon Jam.
Hello and welcome to Toon Jam. I'm Matt.
And I'm Jamie.
And today we are venturing into the world of Apple and Onion. Maybe you've watched it before, maybe you have not. Well, let me tell you a little bit about Apple and Onion before we begin. It is an animated television series created by George Gendy for Cartoon Network. The series is produced by Cartoon Network Studios, and it is a surreal comedy which focuses on its titular characters, Apple and Onion, and their adventures in a settlement inhabited by anthropomorphic food. Gendy first pitched the idea of the series to Cartoon Network Development Studio Europe whilst working on The Amazing World of Gumball in London, a series that he produced. Upon arriving in Burbank, Gendy approached Cartoon Network Studios with the concept, who greenlit the production of a pilot. The resulting short was selected to be screened alongside another Cartoon Network pilot, Welcome to My Life, at the Annecy Festival in 2015. Before eventually being released online in May 2016, the short was picked up for a limited series in March 2017, which then premiered on February the 21st, 2018. On May the 20th in 2019, I'm sorry I'm throwing a lot of dates at you, but that's just the way it goes. The series was picked up for a second season, and that the series actually ended on the 7th of December 2021, so it is a completed series, so to speak. A little fun fact about the show, in the French dub, Apple and Onion themselves are voiced by French rappers Big Flo and Ollie.
Oh.
So there you go for the Big Flo and Ollie audience out there.
Yeah.
That's you can get.
We know you're listening.
Yeah, you can get your extra fix there. But it also has like the main characters. So one of them is George Gendy himself. He plays Apple, and the other is Richard Ayoade. So he's Onion. So that's pretty cool to see him or hear him in a Cartoon Network show.
Yeah, he's got a very iconic voice at this point, hasn't he? So.
Yeah. So I mean, if you know him, you'll recognise it straight off the bat. But there's all sorts of other, interesting cast members that pop up. Obviously Kevin Michael Richardson. He's everywhere. You'll recognise him. Paul Shear, maybe.
What was that?
Paul Shear's in it.
Paul Shear's in it. Oh, nice.
Yeah, he plays Hot Dog.
Oh, cool.
Eugene Merman as Burger.
There you go.
Gray Griffin, another regular. Stephen Fry is Onion's dad.
Everywhere, yeah.
So there's all sorts. There's
folks. Yeah, there's regular voice folks about.
Yeah. So a cool little cast. Have you watched this before? No,
it's very much kind of like flown in under my radar, really.
Yeah.
I knew of its existence, but that's about it, really.
Yeah, that's how I've kind of been. It's one of them that's kind of like, oh yeah, I wonder if it's any good, but never watched it.
And that's as far as it got.
Yeah.
I wonder.
I don't really know why, but that's just the way it is. Well, let's talk about its ratings.
Mm-hmm.
How has the internet rated it? Let's start with our favourite ports of call, IMDb and Rotten Tomatoes. So we have an IMDb rating as always, and we do have an audience score for Rotten Tomatoes. No average tomatometer.
That's
yeah, that's the easy one, but
yeah,
hey ho.
It is. Sorry, like that one.
Yeah. Okay, so let's have your guesses. What do you think it has scored on IMDb?
I'm gonna go 6.8 IMDb.
6.8. Okay. And on Rotten Tomatoes?
I'm gonna say 75%.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't know why that's higher, but it is.
Well, something goes into it. So on IMDb, there's 1.7 thousand ratings.
Oh, okay.
You guessed 6.8.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually 5.9.
Oh, a whole point below.
Yeah. So it's not a low score, but
It's not fantastic.
it's a surprisingly low score.
Mm.
I think you'd expect something like this to just be, with the other shows that we've watched, kind of like this.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, there's a 5.9 rating on that.
Yeah. You want to be out of the 5s really on IMDb.
Yeah, I mean it is 5.9, so
yeah,
it's basically 6, but still, that's just the way it goes.
Yeah.
And then you said 75, around 75. You were incorrect on that one as well.
Yeah.
The average audience score is 82%.
What?
Yeah.
Ah,
So
I was onto something there.
yeah. So it was higher.
Yeah.
But yeah, so an interesting differential between the two.
Mm.
So to speak. Okay. Well, what about Twitter? What's Twitter got to say about Apple and Onion?
Yeah, Twitter is sort of almost reluctant to to say stuff about Apple and Onion. As I was browsing through, there was a lot of people being like, "It's actually okay." You know what? Like maybe we've missed the whole fallout of like Apple and Onion discourse where people, got dropped into two sides and there was a whole war or something. But what I have found is we do have Nadia's child who says, "My kids will watch Apple and Onion. What a masterpiece."
Oh wow, yeah. So high praise.
I assume that is that they don't have kids yet, but their future kids in their brain
Will watch it.
Yeah. So that's that I don't think we've had that before either, where people have been lining up cartoons for their imaginary children. So that's quite cool.
Yeah. I would say that that's a high praise, really. You're already making sure that your kids are getting a good dose of Apple and Onion.
Yeah. Sustenance for the brain.
Yeah.
We have Waffle Witch who says, "My favourite object show is Apple and Onion," which made me laugh because I was like, "Is that what is object shows?
Is that like
what we do?"
So you break it down into different characters, you into categories. So you have animal shows, object shows, human shows.
Yeah.
I guess that's everything. I can't really think where you go after that.
Yeah. Mineral shows.
idea shows.
Yeah, idea shows. Yeah, just high concept. Yeah. I like that though. Object show. It's I don't know.
This is something
what
we
my
need to incorporate into the upcoming Jammy Awards.
Yeah, my favourite object show. Well, I don't know if I have a favourite object show. I'm going to have to go away and revise on this because.
Yeah.
But theirs is Apple and Onion, so that's pretty good.
Yeah. So high place in a whole category.
Yeah. All the other object shows are jealous now. So
yeah. What was that one about the shoes?
Shoes.
Yeah, do you remember that one? We've never done it, but it's just about a village of shoe people.
I don't even remember that.
Do you remember that one?
We need to get on that.
We need to get on that. I can't.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was. It was like I think it was called like the Shoe People or something.
Yeah, we need to get on the Shoe People.
Yeah.
Right.
Or Poddington Peas.
Oh yeah. To be fair, Poddington Peas.
Yeah, they're both.
We've got Kiasi Moni, who says this Apple and Onion show is low-key hilarious too.
So, low key.
Yeah.
So it's got like it does have like a sort of a low key sense of humour.
Yeah.
But like a subtle.
Yeah, there's subtlety to it. Yeah.
It's weird because it's like subtlety in your face.
Yeah.
Interesting stuff.
They like it.
That's a good point. Yeah, another positive.
Hilarious. And finally, we've got not BGBs, which is a good name. They say Apple and Onion is such a good show. Honestly, I don't see enough people talk about it.
Well, here we are.
Yeah.
We've come to your aid. We're talking about it.
When you wish upon a star.
Your dreams vaguely come true.
Yeah, almost. You should know to wish more specifically, because
Yeah, be
otherwise
careful what you wish for.
That's it.
As the old Goosebumps adage goes. So all positive stuff there.
Yeah, people seem to they do enjoy it, and people are upset that it has ended. But yeah, it's not something that lots of people are shouting about. Just does seem to have a little underground kind of fan base there, which is
nice. much like its humour, it's got a low key fan base.
Very much so.
But everyone seems positive about it.
Yeah.
At least on Twitter. So there you go. Okay, well let's dig in. Did you have any first thoughts going into it? Obviously, we watched the pilot, and it does start as an introductory episode as well. It's not just throwing you straight in.
No.
So you get the story of how Apple and Onion become a dynamic duo.
Yeah.
Their starts from living with their parents, moving into the big city. A cool little concept.
Yeah.
Very simple, but you can go anywhere with it, really.
That's it. And I think this episode did a good job of like making it happen, while also you get enough introduction to them, but it was also still fun enough that it could have just been like a middle episode. It wasn't like you didn't feel like you were bogged down in intro or whatever. It was like, oh, okay, yeah, like felt like I got the vibe of the show pretty quickly.
Yeah. And it was sort of like I liked how it was only 10 minutes long, and yet still it felt like they packed so much in without it feeling rushed or like the pace was really good. Like it felt like almost slow and steady, but in 10 minutes.
Yeah, how did they do that?
I don't know. It was really one where I was like, is the timer just lying on this episode? Because I feel like I've got a good bit of sustenance out of this, and it's only 10 minutes long.
Yeah.
They introduced obviously the characters, and who they were. You felt like you got a good sense of Apple and Onion, what they're about. Which was pretty simple, I suppose, really, wasn't it? Like one of them is, happy-go-lucky, kind of just makes his way through life, not really knowing what he's doing. And the other is kind of just a bit of a misfit who wants to make friends.
Yeah, bit awkward.
Yeah. And you just kind of see their days pan out, their first day in the city, all going wrong because they're not with each other.
Yeah.
But along the way, you meet like all these characters. It was good how they introduced so many characters, and they're not like. Well, as far as we know, they're not main characters or even recurring, but they were established enough for you to be like, oh yeah, that's them, that's these, and they kind of added to the characters, the main characters as well as they went along.
Yeah. It was it was cool. I really liked all the little side characters. Like as far as object shows go, this was definitely full of some fun objects. I really liked the coffee boss. He seemed like you got to it was a good. It was almost so many of them fit their role, right? Like I'm guessing.
They'd picked what they were to fit their character. It wasn't just like, this is this guy, and he was like the expensive hipster, like of a big company, playing it cool, but really he's ripping you off.
That's it.
Like an expensive coffee.
That's it. It was pretty fun, and like a lot of them really did have like some you know, I guess you could call it obvious personality traits, but they were pretty fun. I liked
Yeah.
it was like the lady that served them at like their shoe shop or whatever, who was just like super fast and like over the top customer service friendly. And
Yeah,
like some
purely
like
efficient.
funky music came on every time she like whizzed past or whatever. And it was like, I'm sure I've seen some of those folks about. Like,
Yeah.
and you go into like a Foot Locker or something, and they're just like whipping past. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
they did a really good job with the characters.
Hmm.
And proper, like it just felt like there's the, you know, the quarterback that's trying to wash all his muddy jerseys
Yeah.
and he's in his whey protein like tub.
Yeah.
It's just like just jokes like that made it like special, really.
What did you think to the art style?
That's what I was going to talk about next. I really liked the art style.
Hmm.
It was like it was like, you know, elements of shows we've seen before.
Hmm.
Yet they it was like they'd taken a small element of maybe something out of like Adventure Time or something and purely stretched it out into something that's their own.
Yeah.
So, you know, sort of like and what I mean by that is like, you know, like Adventure Time has a lot of different, almost different art styles within it, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's very it depends on where they are, doesn't it? Sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like as the environment changes, things can like look quite different.
And these had a look of like the lemon grab face.
All right, yeah.
And there was a lot of that, but it like I really liked it. I liked how it all fit in, and I liked the actual, you know, sort of the colours they used and the line art and things like that. It was so simple, but it didn't look like cheap.
Yeah. Yeah, it's got a really nice look to it. Like it's pretty, like you say, it's pretty simple, but it looks really effective. And I think for me, mainly it did look like its own thing. Do you know what I mean? Like it was easy to pick that out from a crowd, I'd say.
Yeah.
You know, I think it really complemented the way that the characters are as well. Like everyone looks kind of fun. Like it doesn't really matter what shape or, you know, what food item they are and stuff. Like everyone looks fun in the way that they've designed them and stuff.
Yeah, I think it was kind of like, because in a way, I mean, the humor itself is quite simple, but like in a nice way, just like the art sort of thing.
Yeah.
So that blended really well, and I think it really added to the whole piece.
Did you have a favourite of Apple and Onion?
I don't know, to be honest. They were both pretty fun. I think maybe Apple, you know.
Really?
Yeah, just so happy-go-lucky.
Just loving life.
Yeah, yeah. And he had his little song. I mean, they both had a song, but yeah, I just liked that he would just, you know, spend all of his money on ice cream. so frivolously.
Yeah.
Just seemed like such a nice guy.
Yeah, good to have good energy. Good energy for Apple, I think. Yeah.
But I think what they do in this show as well is you see it every now and again, that amazing, you know, close up face art.
Yeah.
That they sometimes do. And I think that really, you know, when a show does that more often than not, it's good. I don't know why.
The mark of a solid show.
Yeah, it's like one of those things where, you know, they've thought about that gag. They've put the expression in, and they used it a few times in this. It was good, and just, you know, I think the show as well felt modern. I don't know, like it felt like a part, like, you know, we've talked about stuff we've watched before, and you kind of go back and you're like, oh, it feels like a real slice of that era.
Yeah.
And this feels like something that if we watched it in 20, 30 years time, it's going to feel like a slice of that, you know, late teenies kind of year. Yeah, like, you know, the hipster vibe, the city.
Yeah, it's funny really, because it's like I thought it was cool that they're so kind of British, but then it seems like they're in an American city.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Like they've not just moved town, they've almost like moved country to like the big city. Which is cool, but like not really sort of spoke of, like,
No.
you know.
Well, and it gives it its own feel. Like it could be, you know, it's definitely not like just, you know, New York or San Francisco or you know, a specific place. It's its own place, and it's just a city.
Yeah, I like that. I think that's cool. Instead of like another rehash of, like, you know, the amount of the 80s shows that we saw that were just in like grungy New York. You know,
Yeah.
Always nice to not have that again.
Yeah.
But
though, you know, I'm surprised it's not come back, to be honest. Like purely New York based shows.
yeah, maybe maybe it is. Maybe it's on the turn.
Yeah, it's possible. It's What did you think of the voice acting and stuff? I mean, obviously, you have said before you're not big on like British voices and.
No, I think it's, yeah. I was a bit reluctant at the start, to be honest. But I think that was the nice part for me, was that, like, oh, they're not all British now, so that's okay.
Yeah, it was a mix,
As
wasn't
they moved to the city, it got better. So, but yeah, I don't know why that is, but yeah, British voices just I don't really get on with them that well.
Too close to home.
It's strange. Yeah, I think it might be that. So yeah, it was nice to have that variation in there, and a lot of them seemed like they were just, you know, they were good, just doing what they needed for the character. Like Kevin Michael Richardson as the big footballer guy made sense.
Yeah.
so yeah, a lot of it seemed good.
Yeah.
Like the voice work was pretty solid.
Yeah, I think there's something nice about, like, it reminded me of watching those British cartoons when we were kids as well.
Right.
And it kind of added a bit more of a cozy feeling to it for myself. Just because you don't see it that often, do you? Like, you see the occasional, you know, some actor from the Mighty Boosh turning up in a cartoon.
Yeah.
That happens quite a lot at the moment, actually. I don't know why they've gone complete cartoon. But yeah, it was just nice to. I mean, was Richard Ayoade in the Mighty Boosh?
He was actually Dick. Yeah, he was in the later series. He was originally Dixon Bainbridge, I think, in the first series. But then they recast it with with Matt Berry. But yeah, then he was later, like, I think what's his name, like Sabu or something like that. Like in the later series, it's one of like Naboo's mates.
It was the Crunch, wasn't it?
Yeah, he's always talking about the Crunch.
Yes, yeah. So yeah, there you go. So it's still, I guess, Mighty Boosh-esque.
Yeah.
Cartoon Network, they must love it.
Yeah, I think, I don't know what that is. That's like the hidden patch of like where to source British talent. It's like, it was in
British
the
voice talent. Like ridiculous voices of Mighty Boosh.
Yeah.
But hey, there you go. Okay, well, you know, we've talked about it. So let's move on. Let's go on to our final reviews. You've been watching Apple and Onion on the Cartoon Network Object Hour. Stay tuned because we've got plenty more coming your way. Next up, it's Hat and Shoe.
You guys love Hat and Shoe. And don't forget, stick around for Keyboard and Glasses coming up afterwards.
A great show, followed by, of course, Plain and Ground.
Don't forget to watch out for the final episode of Cactus and Monopoly.
Oh boy, you'll love that one. But then, if you stay tuned, you'll of course get Plate and I.
Plate and I. It's 3 episodes in a row, followed straight away by Hoodie and Roller Coaster.
Oh, but that's not all. Just to finish up the day, we have Wallet and Belly Button Lint.
All coming up on Cartoon Network.
Okay. Okay, so here at Toon Jam, we have a 3-point rating system that goes as follows. Thumbs up, vegetables, good for you, get them down you.
Yeah.
Thumbs down, spending all of your money on ice cream. Spend some, not all. Not
Come
all.
on, guys.
Come on. And shaky middle, spending half of your money on ice cream. Even that would be questionable.
Yeah.
Just a small amount. You just need just buy an ice cream or a tub. Don't go crazy. So what I mean by that is, thumbs up is good, thumbs down is bad, shaky middle is exactly that. So Apple and Onion, episode 1, your thoughts?
Yeah, I didn't really know what to expect going in, because I think like the art style maybe made me think this was for a much younger audience, but that was just kind of the look that they went for. It seemed like it's, and I do like it. Like once it's in motion and stuff, you're like, yeah, this is cool. I liked the characters. I liked that we got a really nice introduction to them and how they end up in their situation, and just how the sort of like, I guess, chaos or luck kind of brought them all together and made it all happen, sort of thing. Thought that was fun. They were fun enough to watch, and all the side characters and stuff, like the cast that goes along with them, they were really interesting and fun as well. And yeah, it was a fun ride. It's a fun ride along the way. Nothing that really rubbed me the wrong way. Nothing I can say, I hated this part. I mean, if there was less British voices, that'd be nice for me. But it was only brief. It was only brief. So yeah, I think you could. I definitely see how this can be some people's like comfort show. It's like you don't have to. It's not backbreakingly intellectual, but it's also like, it's got all the elements you need. I think a nice little duo, and I imagine as it goes on, it's probably just going to get better. So for me, I think Apple and Onion going to be a thumbs up.
Thumbs up, nice. Yeah, I've got nothing bad to say about Apple and Onion. It was a really enjoyable show. The characters are really nice, simplistic, refreshing. It was just an enjoyable watch. It felt like you were getting loads, but also in such a short amount of time. And the humour, we haven't really touched on it that much, but it was actually really funny as well. There were some really good bits, and if you haven't watched it before and you go back, look out for the Call of the Children gag, which really cracked me up. When it came to the ice cream van, just little bits like that just made the show for me. And I think there was a lot of subtle gags as well. It's kind of that classic, under the radar, not adult jokes, but cheeky jokes in there as well. There was a couple of them that were enjoyable as well. So I think, yeah, it was just a great show. I just really enjoyed it, and like you say, I can see absolutely how it would be a comfort show. And for me, the British voices add to that as well. It's kind of like makes it cozier for some strange reason. So yeah, I too am a thumbs up. 2 thumbs up.
Hey, look at that.
Pretty fresh. I'm surprised it didn't get a higher rating on IMDb, to be honest.
Yeah.
Don't know who's giving it low ratings.
I know. People that maybe hate apples or onions. It's got to be that crowd.
There's no excuse though, because I'm pretty sure I'm allergic to onions. So,
yeah,
no excuse. If I can forgive, so can you.
Yeah. It's the
That's
time
just
for
the way it
forgiveness now.
Okay, well, thank you so much for listening today. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Join us again next week as always, but next week we have a very special episode. It is the second Jammy Awards, which means 200 episodes come and gone. And that is pretty crazy. So yeah, we'll be doing our Jammy Awards. So tune in for that. If you'd like to get extra bonus stuff, you can do so over on our Patreon page, which there's a link to in our socials, which are on the 3 rotten vegetables of the internet: Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Toon Jam Pod. You can also listen to all sorts of our last 200 episodes over on our YouTube page as well, which is again Toon Jam Pod. And you can get yourself some fancy swanky merchandise, Toon Jam themed, from the many sketches that we've done over the years, and that is bit.ly/Toon Jam Shop. Otherwise, all that's left to say is, once again, thank you so much, and until next time, you stay jammy.
Hey everyone, thank you for listening. If you want to help the show keep going, you can be extra jammy by heading over to our Patreon page at patreon.com/toonjampod. Here you can get a shout out on the show or unlock bonus episodes. Ratings and reviews anywhere you listen to the podcast also really help us out. So thank you, and stay jammy.